This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher, a new comedy from executive producers of What We Do in the Shadows and Baskets. English Teacher follows Evan, a teacher in Austin, Texas, who learns if it's really possible to be your full self at your job while often finding himself at the intersection of the personal, professional, and political aspects of working at a high school. FX's English Teacher premieres September 2nd on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Seriously, Diane, was Colgate your secret to winning Best Smile back in high school?
Yep, and it still is. I even work overnight.
Huh?
Colgate's Optic White Overnight Whitening Pen works overnight. So after 1 week, I can show up confident and reunion ready.
And here I was bragging about my kids.
Colgate Optic White. Find it at all major retailers.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily. 7 tips to stay cool when your child acts up. By Dr. Laura Markham of PeacefulParentHappyKids.com. Hello, everybody, and thanks a lot for tuning into ORD once again. I'm your host and narrator, Greg Audino, and just like I do each Thursday and Friday, today I've got a parenting post to share with you, one that I think you're going to like as it is pretty important for all parents. How can we stay cool when our children act up instead of blowing our tops? Today we will hear 7 tips for how to do just that. So let's get into the post now as we optimize your life. 7 tips to stay cool when your child acts up. By Dr. Laura Markham of PeacefulParentHappyKids.com. Quote, "Let it go. The moment you feel your hackles rising, let it go. If you let it upset you, what follows is anger. And to quote Yoda, that leads to the dark side. Notice and interrupt it. Find your own way of accepting things with grace." That's by Steve Airy. When our kids act up, most of us get annoyed. And when they really act out, most of us get angry. All parents get angry at their children. There's nothing wrong with feeling anger. Anger is a message. The problem is that we can't interpret that message clearly while we're angry. In the heat of the moment, we're in a fight, flight, or freeze. And when we're in fight, our child looks like the enemy. So we think the message is that we should vanquish the enemy, our own child. In fact, the message when your child gets upset is actually that he needs your help, even if he's being impossible, especially when he's being impossible. Maybe we need to put our child to bed an hour earlier, or connect with her more, or simply make it safe enough for her to cry and show us all those tears and fears that are making her act out. But we can't understand or act on that message when we're triggered by our own fear and anger. Staying cool is essential to actually solving the problem, instead of making it worse. So, how can you stay cool when your kid acts up, instead of sliding toward the dark side? Number 1, notice that you're getting annoyed. Sometimes we don't notice until we're already on the dark side. But usually we can see our annoyance building because we start gathering kindling. What do I mean? We start reviewing all the reasons we're right and our child is an ungrateful brat. Once you start gathering kindling, it's hard to avoid that firestorm. So as soon as you notice that your mind chatter about your child is negative, stop. Drop your agenda, just temporarily. Take a deep breath to stop the runaway train of your anger. Number 2, use your inner pause button. Even if you're already well down the wrong path and you're yelling, stop. Take a deep breath and hit the pause button. Close your mouth, even in mid-sentence. Don't be embarrassed. You're modeling good anger management. Save your embarrassment for when you have a tantrum. Number 3, take 5. Yes, your child is acting badly. Understood. But don't try to address the issue with your child while you're angry. Calm down and get recentered so you can actually hear the message behind your anger. Are you worried that your child's behavior could be a sign that something is wrong? Exhausted and stressed out so you're overreacting to your child's normal age-appropriate behavior? Scared that this means you're not a good enough parent? Number 4, feel the emotions in your body. I'm not suggesting that you swallow your anger, just that you resist acting on it. Instead, notice the anger in your body. Really feel that tightness in your belly, that suffocating feeling in your throat. Breathe into those tense places. As you simply open to the feelings in your body, you'll feel them begin to shift and melt. That's the secret of mindfulness. Once we sit with those emotions, just accepting them with compassion, but resisting the urge to act on them, they melt away. Number 5, shift your state. Now, reframe your thoughts about the situation. Since our thoughts create our feelings, your new thoughts can create different feelings. If you're thinking that your child needs to be taught a big lesson right now, you'll stay angry. If you remind yourself that she's acting like a child because she is a child, and that she needs your love most when she seems to deserve it least, you will be willing to shift out of anger. Number 6, try a do-over. Tell your child that you're sorry you got so upset, and the two of you are going to try a do-over. This time, stay calm, empathize, listen to your child's feelings, and try to see things from his perspective. Resist the urge to blame, and instead look for solutions that work for both of you. If your child has damaged something, including a relationship, ask him what he might do to repair it, but always start by listening to his upset and empathizing. And number 7, practice, practice, practice. I'm not going to lie to you, this is really hard work, one of the hardest things anyone can do. If you're used to flying off the handle, you'll be teaching your brain new patterns of self-discipline. That takes practice. Luckily, every time you resist acting out when you're angry, you are rewiring your brain, so managing your anger gets easier every time you do it. Sure, you will lose it sometimes, but if you just keep practicing, holding yourself with compassion and noticing those emotions, you'll find that even when your child acts up, you're more able to stay cool. At some point, you'll realize that you rarely lose your temper anymore. You'll still have childish behavior as long as you live with children, but your reaction will be different. A lot less drama, and a lot more love. Yoda would be proud. You just listened to the post titled 7 Tips to Stay Cool When Your Child Acts Up by Dr. Laura Markham of peacefulparenthappykids.com. And be sure to stick around for my comments in just a second.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Experian. Are you paying for subscriptions you don't use, but can't find the time or energy to cancel them? Experian could cancel unwanted subscriptions for you, saving you an average of $270 per year and plenty of time. Download the Experian app. Results will vary. Not all subscriptions are eligible. Savings are not guaranteed. Paid membership with connected payment account required.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
And thanks to Dr. Laura for this post. A great set of guidelines here today. No surprise coming from her. I really like what she said about changing our state in that 5th bullet that she offered. However, this can be tough to do in an emotionally heightened moment, as we all know. But remember, we can always practice this when things are more neutral. It can be very helpful to think about how we might shift our state so we can be more prepared when outbursts occur. So today, take some time to think about exactly where you'd like your mind to go instead of anger, and visualize yourself going there instead of having an angry response at your child's behavior. I think you'll be pretty amazed by how much easier it is to shift your state in the heat of the moment after doing this practice when things are a bit calmer. So good luck with that. It's time to get going for now, though, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. And remember, parents, there will be another episode just for you tomorrow. So be sure to come back for that, where your optimal life awaits.